everybody, welcome to another video of Game of Thrones Academy. Hi Tamar.
Hey.
As usual, we're going to look at A Song of Ice and Fire and Game of Thrones through the lens of real history and real politics to learn something new about the story and hopefully learn a little bit of history along the way. And be sure to check out our bold prediction later in the video. And today we have a very cool video. We're going to talk about the White Walkers. So, what do we know about the White Walkers?
We know very little about the others. We have the story about this period called the Long Night. It happened 8,000 years ago, in which supposedly this race of monsters, of totally evil, maligning monsters, came down from the north in order to destroy humanity.
And brought winter.
And brought a long winter. Up until this alliance between the humans and the children of the forest expelled them to the north, the land of always winter, and built the wall to protect, supposedly, humans from the monsters beyond the wall.
And there is a difference between the others in the books and the White Walkers in the show.
I think it's an interpretation the showrunners did to the others. They depicted them a little bit different than what I imagined, and I guess more readers have imagined them. They made them like the mascot of Iron Maiden, you know?
Right, like
this old, ugly and old,
zombie-like,
monster-like. And in the books,
they're very different.
They're different. They're thin and they're maybe beautiful,
aesthetic. Like all these colors.
Mm-hmm.
They're very silent.
They don't shout, you know. We can assume they have humor.
Right.
Because it says in the first scene, in the prologue of the Game of Thrones, the first book, the other that is fighting this Royce character, this ranger, he's mocking him.
Right.
Yeah, he's laughing about him.
Right. So they are like us, in a sense.
Yeah. So they are not completely monsters. So everything we know about them, the Long Night, the fact that they killed humans
for no
reason, the fact that a wall was built in order to prevent them from coming.
Right.
So everything we know about them is from the perspective of the unreliable narrator.
What do you mean?
Like the whole story of A Game of Thrones and A Song of Ice and Fire is from point of views of humans writing as humans. So
and they know nothing about the White Walkers either.
No. Everything that they know about the White Walkers / others is something that was written in fairy tales. That is like it's filled with myths.
Right.
8,000 years ago, with no written accounts, real written accounts, except maybe Sam saying something about the first man left us only ruins, symbols. We can't understand.
It's like archaeology, not written accounts, not written history.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically, your bold prediction is that the White Walkers are not evil.
Mm-hmm. We said it before. I'm not the only one who thinks that. I think it's, I wouldn't say obvious, but George R. R. Martin, he with a capital H, led us to believe that everything is nuanced in this world.
Right.
Everything is gray.
Right.
There are no black and white characters or individuals unless they have some kind of a mental disorder, like Joffrey or Ramsay, etc.
And when you get to know people and when you see them through their own point of view or somebody close, then you change your mind about them and say, Jamie is not this evil person that I thought. Yeah. He has feelings.
Basically, what George R. R. Martin is doing is he has created a pre-modern world that the way we know it is by postmodern values. Like there is no evil, there is no good as like a inherent good or inherent evil, a complete good.
And you are not right 100% or wrong
100%. Everything is gray, is nuanced.
This is the world we live in.
This is the world we live in. When we find out about the other in our world, when we see, when we spend some time in his shoes, we understand that he's more like us than we wanted to imagine in the first place.
Like if the Night's King had a Twitter account, he could tweet and say what he thought, and everybody could read, and maybe some people will say, "Hey, I like him better than this dragon guy."
So we have to ask the question: does the others in the story have redeeming qualities as a species? We know something about them.
Okay.
Besides the fact that they probably have humor,
Right.
they can fall in love. Like the Night King, the whole story of the Night King.
Right.
He was a brother of the Watch,
Right.
the Lord Commander, and then he fell in love with another, with we want to believe other princess or something
Right.
like that. And
So they
she
can
was
love.
beautiful and young and whatever and perfect. And then he became another, but he was still in love.
Yeah.
And something that George R. R. Martin uses,
Right.
in order to break for us as readers, this sense of, wow, this guy is completely evil, is the use of love as a tool. Like, for example, Jamie. We're supposed to hate him, or at least to be disgusted by him for a long period of the story, because he practically murdered, for all intents and purposes, murdered a kid. But when we find out where we are spending time in his shoes, there's this element of love. He did it for love. And he's in a conflict with himself and with his heart. And suddenly he's not another anymore. Suddenly he's not evil anymore.
Right.
So we know that the others are capable of love, let's say. So maybe that's kind of our redeeming qualities toward.
Unlike the dragons, the dragons are less nuanced. They're like the White Walkers. They're a species. They have their own thing going on, agenda and feelings. And the dragons are more like animals.
They have no redeeming qualities. They eat kids, they burn kids, and they are a weapon of mass distraction.
They're tools. Unlike the others who are
enslavement. Unlike the others that, for all we know, they did nothing.
Right.
Yeah. So we are led to believe that 8,000 years ago, their whole agenda is to just kill humans and reviving them for what? I don't buy it. I don't buy
of course. And also in the 8th episode of this past season, when there's this face-off between Jon Snow and this Night's King, you can see he's not just a monster out to kill you.
Yeah.
He thinks, he contemplates, he's interested.
The animators, they drew him smart eyes.
Right.
Not monster's eyes.
Right,
smart eyes. Like there's a thought process behind him, not just a killing machine.
So we know nothing about their goals. Maybe they want to build an army to save us from the dragons. We have no way of knowing if that's true.
Yeah, that could be. And if I was if I was another, let's say 8,000 years ago, I will look at humans. They are coming. They are destroying nature.
Right.
They are fighting the children of the forest, expelling them from their homes,
and fighting each other all the time.
And later a different wave comes with steel and fire and blood.
Right.
And from our history as humans, the story of the humans, we used to live side by side with other humanoids, like the Neanderthals and the Homo erectus. One of the explanations of these humanoids' reason for extinction is that we are the cause of it.
Right.
We fought them. We are a better predator than them.
And we cooperate better.
We cooperate better. We have a sophisticated way to control our environment than they are. So.
And later we did the same to to animals.
To animals, to nature.
Right.
Yeah. When you think about it, monsters exist in this world, but they are humans.
Right.
And evil exists in this world.
Right.
But as something inside humans.
Right.
And when they are trying to explain their enemies, their unknown enemies, not as faction or other houses, but the enemies of the race in itself, of course this race is totally evil.
Right.
And it makes for me much more sense that the others are hiding behind the wall and not trying to conquer. And maybe a part of the explanation to the others now coming to life,
right,
and being more effective and engaged in this world is the dragons.
Okay, so let me get this right. You said that maybe they could have built the wall to hide behind to protect themselves from the humans.
Yes, it's
plausible.
It's plausible it's not less plausible than the man built the wall to protect himself from the others. It's not less plausible.
Yeah. If the story was told, the whole story was from the point of view of the others from the beginning, then the humans would be the others.
Yeah.
Just as easily. Okay, so this is very interesting. Let's get to our real bold prediction. Okay, it's a cool bold prediction. Bold prediction. Cued? Okay, so what do you think will happen to the White Walkers at the conclusion of the story?
They will die. Unfortunately, maybe.
That was quick.
Yeah, when you look at our history.
How could they lose? First of all, how could they lose?
I don't know. They will lose because humans. They will find some way to kill them.
How could humans beat this supernatural race? Which they are stronger. They can raise the dead. How could humans? We can see that humans. The wall, the Night Watch is weak.
I don't know exactly how they will do it. How will the humans will defeat the others?
Okay.
But they will find a way. If they have a threat,
we do find a way all the time.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker!
Yeah, we find a way to survive, and we know in our history that humans conquered the world, basically.
Subjugated
the world for their own needs. And it's a matter of time until they will reach the children, the others, the Ibanese in the small island, these small hairy people that we know nothing about.
The giants already
and
almost
giants,
dead.
Yeah. All the humanoids that there was in this world, that some of them lived side by side by humans.
In all times.
Like thousands, tens of thousands of years ago, were destroyed.
Right.
Were extinct.
So how will this world look like after all the White Walkers are done?
I think they will find oil in the land of always winter.
Why oil?
Because of the giant spiders and the giants and the ice dragons, the
mammoths
and the mammoths of the giants. There's probably a lot of oil there.
So
a pipe from there and a power plant there.
A mall, you have to have a mall.
And a mall, economic center and something. The workers there will say, 500 years ago. They used to say that there is a race of others there, the magical creatures, but there was probably icebergs with small holes in the shape of ice.
What about the giant spiders?
Stories for kids,
Maybe the humans will put the others, the White Walkers, in reservations. Just put them there, and you can go and watch them. Behind in some cage or something.
In university, they will write papers in xenotology or odontology, study of the others.
Maybe people will there will be shareholders of a company that owns the others, and they'll have them reproduce, like the pandas or something.
Yeah. And someday, a famous author will write a book about them and their battle with the humans. Oh, yeah.
Maybe he came back from the future.
He's from the future of Westeros.
Okay, this is cool. So, if you think that the others will win, or maybe something else will happen with the others, not necessarily a reservation, be sure to comment in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, you can like it and subscribe to get our next videos, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.